Welcome to episode number 6 of Reflections from WT, the heart and soul of the Texas Panhandle. My name is Randy Ray. I'm the Director of Broadcast Engineering here on campus. And for the next few minutes, I'm going to be speaking to the 11th President of West Texas A&M, Dr. Walter Wendler. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine, Randy.
Well,
how are you doing?
It's good to be here. Always a pleasure to talk to you.
Same.
There has been a buzz in the air over the last few weeks, and that buzz started on February 2nd. Tell me about what happened that night.
We had the Gala that initiated the WT 125 from the Panhandle to the world, initiated the, in a sense, the celebration of that plan and its public presentation. So we're going to start to distribute that plan widely. It's on our webpage. If you go to the webpage, the WTAMU webpage, and click on WT 125, the plan will pop up in one of these book formats, and you can read it even on your cell phone. Although it's a little small. You can. I can't read the cell phone anymore. I'm too old. But anyway, it'll be there, and it'll. I think it'll give people a good overview of where we want to go. And we had a very, very good crowd. We had this event, a dinner, and a lot of public speakers there talking about West Texas A&M University and their pride in it. And it was a very nice evening. The staff did a great job. We have a wonderful staff here at every level. They did a great job putting all that together. Yeah. And
Chancellor Sharp was there.
Chancellor Sharp, the chairman of the board, Charles Schwartz, was there. Dignitaries from all over town. Some regrettably were overscheduled, couldn't get there. But I wish that it was a good turnout. It was 500 people. So that's a 500 people for WT is a good crowd. So
if I were to ask you to sum up WT 125 in a couple of sentences, how could you do that?
I can. WT 125 is all about being happy in our own skin, satisfied with who we are in a sense. We serve the Panhandle, we serve this region first, and that's what we're going to do. And we are going to run towards the character of this region and the nature of the people here as the foundation of what this university should look like in 15 years. The WT 125, some people may not know, but that's a celebration, a forward-looking celebration of when we reach our 125th anniversary, which is the year 2035. So with a little arithmetic, you can tell that's a long way out. That's a long way to throw the stone because it's hard to predict what things are going to be like. But the fact of the matter is we take a stab at it and we set a series of benchmarks and goals, and we'll be able to, even if we don't reach them, in some ways I don't care. It's where we want to be right now. It shares our it shares our heart. That's what I want to do. Share. The institution has a heart. It's not my heart. It's your heart. It's all the students' hearts. It's Ann. It's Darcy. It's Jeff. It's everybody. It's their heart, and I want to share that heart with the Texas Panhandle without apology. I don't want to be like Texas A&M or the University of Texas or Texas Tech. I don't want to be those institutions, and I don't think that would well serve the Panhandle. I want to be WT and what WT has been historically, and there is not a single thing in our history that we have to apologize for in any way. This is a very fine institution. We've trained over 70% of the teachers in the top 26 counties. Yeah. And the top 26 counties produces some very fine people. Good insight, good knowledge, strong kind of character, work hard, a lot of grit. Fort Price spoke on Saturday night. He talked about the grit of the people of the Panhandle, and it happens to be a word I use frequently to describe the people here. They're gritty. Yeah. Grit. Mm-hmm. They're willing to work. They get their hands dirty.
The Texas Panhandle, in a way, it's so isolated. They've had to depend on themselves. And then when we built an institution, WT was built, 1909?
Mm-hmm. 1910. It started in 2009, but 10, I think, was the first.
I think it really changed the personality of the Panhandle. And I think that the personality of the Panhandle has always been part of the DNA of WT.
I would agree with you. I really do think that we are identified with the Panhandle very strongly, and I want to continue that, again, without apology or equivocation. I think our identity with the people of the Panhandle is our greatest asset. We're not trying to be like the University of Houston that serves the fourth largest metropolitan area in the nation. We're serving the combined metropolitan area, in my mind, of Amarillo and Canyon, That's the SMSA. And then all of these smaller communities, this constellation of communities that make up the Panhandle. By God, that's a high calling. And this Panhandle produces good people that have the strong values and a work ethic and all that grit again. And that's who we want to cater to. And I'll tell you the truth. You asked, obviously I've already overgone two sentences. You said two sentences. But another thing that I think is really important about this whole notion is that we're never going to apologize for that. I don't want WT to try to appeal to people from the major metropolitan areas, say Dallas-Fort Worth, to try to adopt those values. There's nothing wrong with Dallas-Fort Worth values. I'm not criticizing that. But ours are different and distinctive, and I want to trumpet those as loudly as we can. And we will appeal to people in some urban and suburban areas around the state and around the nation because we've maintained our value system that's strong and encourages hard work, rewards results. We don't give trophies out up here for participation directly.
Exactly.
You've got to do something.
My students who come through our program, most of them are from the Panhandle, and when they go out to the world, I will always get comments from their employers about how hardworking they are and their work ethic.
That's exactly right. You know, Dwight Eisenhower said of Earl Rudder, General Rudder, when they stormed the cliffs at Point du Hoc, after that, and the success of that mission under the most trying circumstances. I mean, D-Day the whole thing was just a trying day, trying effort. But he said that. He said, if you give me a group of Aggies, we'll get the job done, or words to that effect. And that same concept applies to the people in the Panhandle. You give them a job, it gets done. And that doesn't happen everywhere.
Yeah, I totally agree. Let's shift gears a little bit. I'm gonna talk to you about something new and something old. Let's talk about something new. Let's talk about the new building in Amarillo.
Oh, the Amarillo Center is, we started off our event, and I should have said this earlier, but we started off the event on February 2nd at the Amarillo Center, the Harrington Academic Hall of the Amarillo Center, and it's a sight to behold, especially if you'd seen that building in its previous manifestations. It's a gorgeous building, and now I'm talking like an architect. The inside of that building its finishes and its composition, everything is materials. Everything.
Now, who's going to be housed there?
Well, the speech and hearing and communication disorders, they're down there. Graduate programs in psychology are down there. There's a number of other programs. Our small business administration is down there. So there are a number of programs down there. What I'm forward-looking, try to be forward-looking when I can. We're hopeful to bring our nursing program down there because it's closer to the healthcare core that resides in Amarillo. And we think we've got the space. We have the basement, the first floor, and the third floor are occupied. The second floor is what we call in the trade shelled out. You know, it's all finished. There's plumbing, electricity, and all that, but it's not, nothing's in there yet. It's 25,000 square feet, and our intention is to double the size of the nursing program when we move it down there, and we have the capacity to do it. We're turning away a lot of students because we don't have the space here, and we don't have the faculty. But I've committed to hiring the faculty to double the size of that program when we move downtown. So we're very excited about that, and that will fill up the building. The building will be absolutely full. We had 500 people in that building, having drinks and snacks and stuff before the event, and they all took tours, and it's amazing. There's a group happens to be, in a sense, headquartered in Amarillo called the Buffalo Council, and they are a group whose primary goal is to do things for WT. They're not against anybody or anything, but they want to help WT move forward. And these are a number of local leaders. You'd know the whole list of names. I won't go through them. I think they have a website. You can go see it on the website. But Randy, they did a boardroom, an executive boardroom on the third floor of that building. And I'm willing to say, and I've been in all of them, I think, I'm willing to say that is the nicest executive boardroom within the Amarillo city limits. If somebody can show me a better one, I'd like to see it. It is beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. And they sustained that thing, developed and sustained it for us as a gift.
The Buffalo Council.
Buffalo Council. It's a nonprofit group. It's not associated with us in any way. They're not beholden to us or anything else. They're just people, businessmen and women that want to help WT be as good as it can be. What could be better than that?
Yeah, good community. So
Yeah.
we had something, we talked about something new. Let's talk about something old. We had something that was really iconic move this week. Let's talk about the White Buffalo out at Amarillo Stadium.
Yeah, that White Buffalo is something else. People are very interested in it, and it's going to be. It went from being on the hill, and it's now going to be at the front door of Buffalo Stadium, and it's going to be very special. There's a group that has funded landscaping and some embellishments around it. It's going to be a very nice place. As a matter of fact, I can guarantee you, it will be the most photographed place on campus because people will use that for graduation pictures. There'll be people out there getting wedding shots done. Yeah, I can just feel it. Cool. It's going to be very nice, and it's an important part of WT, but also the Panhandle and the Kimbrough really and everything.
Yeah, I have told the story before. I had family in Roswell, New Mexico, and I grew up at Pampa, so we would drive through Canyon going to Roswell, and at some of my earliest memories is that White Buffalo, you know. And I love the pictures that our university photographer, Rick, took of them. He sent it to me. He said, when buffaloes fly, and it's up in the air flying.
He sent me the same thing. Yeah, first of all, he is a world-class photographer. He is really good. He's got a knack for capturing a shot and framing it and all that sort of stuff. But he is, and he's ever present at events and things that are important. We'll probably put together a little package of stuff because there's a lot of people that are interested in that, in the Buffalo. It's an important part of our history.
Been there since 1967.
Yeah. You know, we have the original Buffalo mascot. Charlie is in the basement of the Panhandle Plains Historical Museum, and it's a sight to see. He looks more like a good-sized dog than a buffalo, but it's a real buffalo. And for years, they would let kids sit on that and get their pictures taken. Well, they've worn all the hair off the hide. It's just smooth now. And also, when they taxidermied those things, they would use chemicals, some of which had arsenic in it, so we don't want kids on it anymore. But I'd like to move that to the president's office.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I could go out and talk to it when nobody else would talk to me. I could talk to Charlie.
All right, well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk to one of the newest team members here at WT. We'll be back in just a minute.
West Texas A&M University is a student body that learns by doing and is always seeking opportunity. Talented and accomplished faculty that teach both in and out of the classroom. Programs that provide timeless information and meet the challenges of today's world. Facilities rich in technology as well as WT history. It's our alumni and donors that make the big difference and set us apart from other universities. With your support, WT will continue to award scholarships to deserving students and strengthen our programs, which means a better campus, more in-depth education, and a lasting cultural and economic impact on our region. Now is the time to strengthen connections, support students, and open doors for tomorrow's leaders. Share your experience, share your heritage, share your pride.
Welcome back to episode number 6 of Reflections from WT, the Heart and Soul of the Texas Panhandle. For the next 10 minutes or so, I'm going to be talking to Jeff Baylor, who's the new Executive Director of Admissions here on WT campus. Jeff, welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. What brought you to WT?
What's interesting, I was looking for a new opportunity, and some friends contacted me about this opportunity in the Panhandle of Texas, West Texas. And initially, I wasn't too sure about the opportunity. I grew up in western Pennsylvania, spent some time in South Dakota, and after some pursuing on their part, I decided to come and take a look. And as soon as I stepped onto campus, I met some people, and I thought, this is a great place. This is a place I want to explore even further, and that's led to me being here today.
Yeah. I think WT affects a lot of people that way. Yep. You have to come here to just get the feel of the place. What was the first thing you noticed about campus when you got here?
Well, I noticed it was in the center. When you come into town, it's right there. As soon as you come off the highway, it's right there. And that's not always the case for some schools. I also noticed that it was laid out nicely. There was an opportunity to navigate the campus fairly easily from a new perspective, my perspective, not having been here. And that stood out to me. I saw some very nice facilities. I saw really a great opportunity to promote something that may not be as well known as it should be.
I totally agree. And I was just talking to Dr. Wendler. WT is doing a better job about bragging on itself, and I think we have every right to do that. We just haven't done a very good job about that in the past, but I think we're getting better at that. So when a student is interested in WT, what can they do about coming to visit?
Yeah, great question. One of the things that I would like to see happen here is to really increase our visitors to campus. I've been doing this for over 30 years, and one thing that's always been true is that when you increase visitors to campus, you increase the profile, you increase your enrollment, you increase donor interest, and we have a great story to tell. So I would encourage students and their families, and not just students coming to visit for enrollment purposes, but alumni and friends of the university that haven't been here for a while to go on our website and click on our visit page. But more importantly, for the students in high school, we have the Admissions Fast Track app, which exists in our WT mobile app, that is very cool, it's very smart, and it's relevant. And I think that's something they should be checking out.
Yeah, I think the WT mobile app is really, really a cool thing for anyone going to school here, thinking about going to school here. It's got a lot of features on it, so I would encourage everyone to download that. Jeff, I have found when I took my kids around to visiting different campuses when they think about going to college, I found that within 10 minutes they knew if that was the place for them or not. And I've noticed that when students come to visit WT, after 10 minutes, their answer is almost always yes. This is the place. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely.
And don't you think that families need to go visit campuses?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's so important.
I had the same experience. I'm a first-generation college student, and I've spent my entire career in higher education. I knew as a junior in high school when I was joining my brother on his college tour, I knew where I wanted to go. And it was that time I spent on campus. And that's something that in my position that's very important to me, is making sure that when families come to campus that we give them a very good look at who we are. We show them our campus and our facilities. They get to meet the faculty. They get to meet our students. They get to try the food. That's all a part of the experience. And from my perspective, I want students to come here, live on campus, and get the full experience. We want all kinds of students, but those traditional students, we want them here. Whether they're transfers or right out direct from high school, we want them to come and have that full university experience because we have a good one.
I think so too, and part of it is the culture here. When I started teaching here, one of the things that I noticed that didn't happen where I taught before is I spend as much time with the students outside the classroom as I do inside the classroom, and I love that. I have taken them out to eat. We've gone and done work out in the field, and so there's just like yesterday, for example, Darcy, who works over in Common Marketing, came over and we had a drone workshop with my advanced video students, and I think that's great to get outside the classroom and just spend time with your students. And if you're teaching in a field, you should be passionate about that field, and you should be sharing that passion.
That's right. Since I've been here, I try to eat in the dining hall once a week if I can. I'm advising a fraternity on campus. I try to come in for basketball games and other activities that are taking place right now on campus. That's a big part of who I am. Yeah. I don't just work here. This is what I love to do. This is a part of my lifestyle, and it has been ever since I first stepped foot onto a college campus. I knew that's where I wanted to be, and I've been very lucky to have that opportunity. I've been blessed to have the opportunity to be a part of something bigger than what I am.
Well, Jeff, we are glad you're here. I'm going to throw you and Dr. Wendler the traditional curveball. What would you be doing right now if you were not working in higher ed?
Well, I think based on my experience, I probably would be somewhere in sales, doing something, because I think my skill set, I'm a people person, so I could see myself working in a profession that deals with people, and I think sales really does deal with people. But fortunately, in this position, I actually get to change people's lives. I get to change the trajectory of families' lives. And so I'm able to use that skill set in a way that really benefits our community.
Yeah.
So
good. Dr. Wendler, what would you be doing?
What would I be doing if I wasn't doing what I'm doing right now? Well, I retired, but it only lasted for 2 months, and I was playing golf and writing. That's what I was doing. I played golf and I wrote. But I retired on the 31st of December in 2015, and on the 6th of January in 2016, 7 days later, my wife said, "You might want to start looking for something to do." I was driving her. I guess I was just around too much, But anyway, I'll tell you the truth. The fact of the matter is, and I say this frequently, I can't think of anything I would rather be doing right now than what I am doing, number one. And number two, I have a lot of experience that I think, by God's grace, has prepared me to do exactly what I'm doing right now. Even some of the experiences for me which were not that pleasant, they were learning experience, and they molded me to be, in my mind anyway, time will tell, a good fit to be here at WT, and I'm thankful for it.
Yeah. You know what I'd probably be doing? Time, probably. You think? I'm just kidding. I can attest to that. But by the way, we probably shouldn't say this, but I wish you well on the race that you're involved in right now for the city commission. Thank you, Dr. Wendler. I am not really a politician, but I do love living in Canyon, Texas, and want to give back. That is going to about wrap up episode number 6 of Reflections from WT, the heart and soul of the Texas Panhandle. Thank you for joining us today. Be sure and join us next time. Until then, go Buffs.